different about Noah, he also lives here, has a place here, and splits his time between here and Salt Lake City, is he's done these marvelous, incredibly detailed project photographs. Unlike many of us who go out and go to an event and try to capture what's going on in the event, Noah, from the start to finish, researches and all that stuff to put together these projects that now become these photographs. And of course, the latest one is right behind him there, over there in the corner, what went into doing that image. But today he's going to talk about the one that we've got on the screen here. So Noah, it's up to you.
So this is Grizzly Column. It was a 120-hour project with Tom Wallisch. He's one of the best skiers in the world. Most certainly will go down, in my opinion, as one of the greatest skiers of all time from a freestyle standpoint. Invented a particular style of skiing, like the way you land, believe it or not. But this was a 120-hour project with him back in May of 2023. And you know, for me, most of the imagery that I'm most passionate about pursuing is complex and surreal images that combine multiple layers of complexity. And what I've realized over the last number of years is that my best ideas come to mind in time. So it's a process. Sometimes I'm out in the wilderness and I walk past a location, I see a spot, I envision it immediately, I envision the concept. But oftentimes it's working with an idea and cultivating that idea, exploring sort of that location or different lighting, or is it a mountain bike shot, is it a ski shot? So this particular project started in 2020. So I went out to shoot landscape imagery in Little Cottonwood Canyon, iconic location in ski history. Probably the most ski films, snowboard films have been shot like in this location. From 10th Mountain Division to avalanche history, there's a huge history here. And Mount Superior is above that, towering above is this iconic peak, one of the I think classic 50 ski descents in North America. But anyway, I went out to shoot landscape imagery of this location and was able to locate this spot, shot landscape imagery, and then the process sort of built, that idea sort of built over the next couple of years. So earlier in 2020, before I shot that winter landscape shot, I had started to explore with an aerial lighting technique. So cameras on a tripod, I have a powerful headlamp strapped to a drone, and essentially I'm taking an exposure at night, and during the exposure I'm illuminating, I'm studio lighting an outdoor scene, whether it be smaller or massive. So I started to explore with that concept here in Steamboat for the first time, illuminating Fish Creek Falls at night in the complete darkness. And then I came back to Utah in 2022. So now this is a couple years I've been ruminating on this, trying to think about potential locations and different things I can do. And I thought of the location that I shot up in Little Cottonwood Canyon. I'm like, man, it is so aesthetic, these beautiful pine trees and the backdrop of Mount Superior towering over it. It'd be great to illuminate these trees at night and studio light this scene. So then it was a process of waiting for the right day, and it took multiple nights to go out and capture that in miserable conditions, like absolutely freezing, drones crashing, all alone, waiting out storms. Storms aren't clearing, won't go any further there. Mm-hmm. But fast forward to the start of this project. So after capturing those shots with a headlamp attached to the drone illuminating that scene, the idea came to me of, okay, can I strap a wireless flash to the drone? Can I long line the flash, the wireless flash from the drone, and and do, illuminate a feature. So that's when the final concept came to mind of this hand plant column, which is like a terrain park feature, and positioning it in the backcountry and having Mount Superior just tower above it. But then it brings in a whole nother level of variables of like, okay, how are we going to, one, to build a feature like that is an art in and of itself, 100%, and you can tell it. Even most advanced skiers have no clue how to build a proper feature. So with that said, we would need a lot of different conditions we would need spring conditions to be able to, where the snow is worn, to be able to pack the feature, and then then you talk about the other variables as far as shooting at night and finding a skier that has that ability level to be able to hit a feature when the feature is rock solid ice and doing it in complete darkness. So in the spring of 2023, in March of 2023, I'd been thinking about this idea. Now we're nearly 3 years in, and I had been out. I was shooting actually with Tanner Hall, which is a legend in the sport, and I was actually out shooting with him in Grizzly Gulch and happened to run into Tom. So I'm like, this is the perfect opportunity to pitch this to him. We're in the parking lot. We're going on a tour in the backcountry. So I pitched the idea to him. On the way up, took some photos, organized a long email, sent it to him, and long story short, he was fully committed. So finding the time to do that was the next step. It was a 903-inch winter at Alta that winter. So this was late May, like May 23rd, and the whole process of skinning up there to check to see if the snow depth was still there and that there would be an in-run that was adequate for the feature, but could talk on and on about these things. But essentially what you see in the photograph is aerial lighting. So I have a wireless flash attached to the drone that's outside the top of the image, and that's freezing the action top down, casting that shadow, mimicking light from the moon, which is actually an in-camera double exposure planned. And I also have a wireless flash backlighting him. So on this particular night, this is the first night of shooting. It took 2 nights of test shooting, figuring out the lighting, then another night to haul up the first 80-pound load of light stands gears. I stashed the gear in a big Agnes tent up there. Then we came back 2 days later. This was night 4, the first night of shooting the feature. Tom hit this feature 45 times in complete darkness with just a little fragrance of a headlamp on the lip of the jump. But that tells you how much dedication he has to his craft, and the fact of the communication that goes back and forth between athletes and photographers is really quite impressive when that happens, because everything from his hand extending to his skis being parallel to and all those things that I understand too. So there's an art in building the feature, there's an art in shooting it, and I definitely couldn't be more proud of this image. This was one of the first 10 sort of frames of the night of those 45 attempts, and then we ended up going back a couple days later. I convinced him to trying to hone in on I think we can do it better, and if I have Tom Wallisch committed to my idea, that's not going to happen very much. So let's try to wring out every little bit of effort I can and opportunity out of it. So we went up a couple days later, rebuilt the feature, no assistants, no cinematographer, just Tom and I, and he hit it another 30 times. The last thing I'll say is that within these pursuits, it's unbelievably intimidating when you don't know if you're capable of capturing something that not many people are doing, and you have one of the best skiers in the world that's committed to your idea, you're thousands of dollars in, and basically everything's riding, everything's weighing on your shoulders, and you have no clue if you're even capable of pulling it off. So hence the 120 hours, hence the test nights of shooting, trying to figure out all those variables, and yeah, could go on and on about that.
And it's not only the skier that was dedicated to this, but obviously the photographer who is dedicated to this.